name is David Drayton, a painter living in a small town with my son Billy. After a heavy rainstorm, our house was destroyed, and a strange fog drifted over the lake. I took my son, and along with my neighbor Norton, with whom I had a conflict, drove to the supermarket to buy supplies. On the way, we saw military vehicles passing by in a hurry. When we arrived at the supermarket, my son and I were picking out items and greeting familiar people. At that time, I had no idea that what was about to happen would completely change everything. Everyone was chatting when a blood-soaked old man rushed in, shouting that there was something in the fog dragging people away. Some people didn't believe it and drove off, only to be instantly swallowed by the fog. Madame Carmody, the spiritualist, claimed it was the arrival of death. A mother, worried about her children at home, begged everyone to help her get back, but no one dared. In despair, she cursed and walked alone into the thick fog. When I went to the warehouse to find blankets, after turning off the generator, I heard something squeezing the metal door. I went to ask the supermarket guys for help, but they didn't believe there were monsters at all and thought I was being overly sensitive. Just as Norman opened the door to check, he was dragged into the fog by a giant tentacle. I cut off the tentacle to save him, only to see the severed tentacle still moving. This made some people believe that there were monsters. Everyone started to reinforce the doors and windows, but Mrs. Carmody took the opportunity to promote her cult. At night, flying monsters broke through the glass and entered, causing casualties. I took some people to the pharmacy to find medicine. We saw someone stuck to the ceiling and were attacked by terrifying spiders. Fortunately, an old lady with a flamethrower came to our rescue. After returning to the supermarket, Mrs. Carmody incited the crowd to throw the soldier who knew something out to feed the monsters. I planned to escape. The short store clerk, who was a good shot and killed Carmody, but was then swallowed by a giant monster. In the end, those who got in the car were me, Billy, Amanda, Irene, and the old man. When we got home, we found that my wife had been killed. While driving to escape, we encountered a monster several stories high, and the car ran out of fuel. Staring at the mere 4 bullets I had to spare my companions and my son from being tormented and killed by the monsters, I shot them dead with tears in my eyes. I stepped out of the car, crying and howling, hoping the monsters would put an end to my life. But just then, U.S. military tanks and armored vehicles slowly came. Soldiers used various weapons to attack the monsters, and the thick fog gradually lifted. I saw the mother who had insisted on going out to save her children earlier, standing behind her 2 kids on a rescue vehicle, and our eyes met. At that moment, I collapsed, knelt down and howled at the sky, filled with despair and regret.